Thanks so much for considering my application. I'm so inspired by what I'm seeing here at Georgia Tech that I'd love to be a part of it. If you'll have me, of course. I'm from Georgia originally, but as you can see on my application, I went to Harvard, also known as the Georgia Tech of the North. Yeah. I'm a Rhodes Scholar, if that might help. And I'm really into science and technology. I was actually beamed up on an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine once. What? So, what do you think? Will Georgia Tech take me? Cool. Host. Well, gotta start somewhere.
Live from the campus of the Georgia Institute of Technology, it's the 2013 Georgia Tech Adventure Prize. Join us as the nation's brightest students unveil the future and compete to win $35,000 in prizes and patents. Now, please welcome your host from Georgia Public Broadcasting's new series, The Future Files, Faith Saley.
And welcome to the 2013 Georgia Tech Adventure Prize. I am thrilled to be back in Georgia on this amazing campus and your host for this evening. And I'm feeling a little overdressed. Do I have goggle face? Right? It's like hat hair for really smart people, right? Okay. There, that's better. You are about to see a fantastic show because as impressive as this school is, tonight's show is about the best of the best. The 6 teams you'll see tonight have been working on their ideas for anywhere from 6 months to 16 years. That's right, several of them were inspired by moments from their childhood, and they've used that inspiration to create some extremely sophisticated inventions. Now, this is not exactly what I would have been inspired to invent at that age. My ideas would have been something more like, ice cream that turns into puppy dogs when you lick it. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but these are much, much better. In any case, right now, I want to introduce a Georgia Tech graduate and former professor who will be helping me throughout the evening. So here to give you the scoop on what our finalists could win tonight, including the People's Choice Award, on which you will vote, please welcome Dr. Bahara Azizi.
As the Georgia Tech Adventure Prize continues to grow, tonight the stakes are higher than ever. Our first place winners not only get a patent in addition to $20,000, they also get a chance to participate in Flashpoint Studio, Georgia Tech's new business accelerator. Our runners-up will win $10,000, and that's not all. The most exciting part is that you at home and people in the audience tonight get to vote for the People's Choice Award, which is worth $5,000. Here is how it works. After all the contestants have finished their presentations and the judges have asked their questions, a unique keyword will be given for each team. When the voting starts, you can text that keyword to 22333 or go online to vote at pollev.com/adventure. But more on that later. For now, back to you, Faith.
Thanks, Bahara. You know, when I was a kid, the People's Choice Award usually went to someone like Burt Reynolds, but I feel like we can aim higher tonight. Our judges have just settled in, and we will meet them in a few minutes, but right now, we want to get to the good stuff. So without any further ado, or any ado at all for that matter, I want to introduce 2 gentlemen who have got the future of cell phone charging in the palm of their hands.
Hi, I'm Sam Alaya.
And I'm Grant Heffley.
We're Team Spark, and we've developed a better way to charge your cell phone. There are over 100 million US smartphone users.
And every one of them has the same problem. They find themselves out and about with low battery.
When we decided to reinvent the phone charger, we knew we had to make it something that you'd never leave behind. So we decided to make it something that you'd carry on you at all times.
One of the biggest problems that we found was shrinking down the transformer into a smaller size.
With a little creative circuit design and many long nights, we found a way to make it possible. One of our not so fortunate prototypes actually exploded on us in the lab last night.
Yeah, that design went out with a bang.
We think we have a good shot at winning the Inventor Prize because we're addressing a problem almost everybody has.
There are over 100 million smartphone users in America, and we feel that we have a solution that will help all of them.
Smartphone users and potential Spark customers, give it up for Team Spark.
Good evening, judges, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. My name is Grant Heffley, and this is my partner, Sam Malaya. Now, I think it's safe to say that everybody in the audience tonight, including yourselves, own a cell phone. In fact, close to half of the entire US population owns smartphones. And we use these smartphones for more things than we can even start to count. Clearly, phones have become a crucial part of our everyday lives. But with all these recent advancements in phone technology, battery performance has suffered. Don't you just hate it when you're out and about and you need to make an important phone call or you need to send a message and you just can't because your phone battery is dead? Now, you probably don't have your charger with you, and that's for one of two reasons. Either you forgot it, or you didn't feel like unplugging it from your wall at home and carrying it around with you everywhere you go. So, what is something you carry around with you everywhere you go, and it's hard to leave home without? Your phone, your keys, and your wallet. Okay, so let's say you're out, your phone dies. Check this out. Looks like a credit card, right? Just wait. Now, all that's missing is your cell phone.
You could replace Vanna White.
And just like that, your phone is charging. Introducing the Spark.
Now, in case you missed that, the Spark has a shelf on the bottom that folds up with the micro USB for your phone and other devices. On the back, there's two charging blades that lay flat within the case when not in use, but simply fold out when it's time to charge. Just remember to pop it, lock it, and sock it. Now, the Spark is not one of those batteries in a case that you still have to charge. It's not one of those solar panels. It's not a portable hand crank. We have managed to take your traditional phone charger and condense it to the size of a credit card so that it fits in your wallet and you'll never leave it behind. Just imagine how much you spend on a phone charger at an airport. With the Spark, you can be on a business trip, vacation, even a friend's house or a doctor's office. And if you have your wallet, you have your phone charger. If you don't have your wallet, you probably have some bigger issues to worry about. Now, the Spark is not a replacement charger. You can call it a replacement charger, you can call it battery insurance, you can call it peace of mind, but you could have one in your pocket for only $30, making it the cheapest charge card you've ever owned. Winning Inventor Prize would be huge because it would give us the funds to polish the mechanical design, make some tweaks to the circuitry, and prepare for safety certification. Then, with our final prototypes, we can begin crowdfunding through Kickstarter and other sources. I'd like to leave you with this last point to ponder. Next time you're out and about and your cell phone is low or dead, take a look around for your closest wall outlet. I bet after a week, you'll be wanting a Spark. Thank you.
So pop it, lock it, and sock it. I already see the t-shirts. Well done, guys. I hate when I leave home without my cell phone charger, and I really hate when I leave home without my portable wall outlet, I have to tell you. All right, we will learn much more about our honorable judges, David Phelps, Dr. Lisa King, and Baruz Abdi in just a few minutes. But clearly, you guys have been working hard, so we are going to put our judges right to work, too. Who has the first question for Sam and Grant?
So first of all, really exciting looking product. Very nice, very nicely done. Before I ask my question, just a little bit of marketing tip. You know, with all the battery problems lately, you know, from Boeing to batteries exploding in the phones, you probably want to change the name from something other than Spark. You know, so and keep out of flame and fire and I explode and anything like that. But in terms of what you've done here, how do you get to that cost structure, you know, to the $30? Did you miniaturize and get rid of the inductor? Is that what you guys did, basically, the transformer?
Yes.
Okay.
So our current circuit, we remove the transformer, we use a switch mode power supply, a very thin PCB substrate, which is what the components are actually mounted on. And this very thin substrate also allows for slight bending that you could have that credit cards would have in a wallet.
Is it $30? Is that your cost, or is that the price that you expect to sell into the market with profit?
That is the expected price. Components and case, we think we can get below $10.
Below $10. Mm-hmm. Okay. And in terms of the custom, do you need to customize it for any particular phone, or? I mean, the Apple phone, you know, has a very small charger. I mean, that's what you're competing with. It's already very small. Do you have to customize this for other phones, or are you going to go after the Apple phone also?
We'd love to tackle all phones. Currently, our adapter is micro USB, so all Android phones will accept this charge. Licensing is something we need to look into with Apple, and in the future, we'd like to extend it even past cell phones to anything that accepts 5 volts and the current that we provide here. So this could be MP3 players, GPS, cameras, you know, anything that runs on a lithium-ion battery.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit about the intellectual property that you have?
Sure.
All right. Well, currently the main focus of our design has been the mechanical design, compressing the circuit into a small enough substrate to fit into a credit card size. So currently our patent is mostly with physical design things, but do you have anything to add?
The folding blades from the back in a credit card form factor is mainly what our design patent is for. As of now.
Is that protectable?
Yes.
So sometimes innovation is about trial and error, and sometimes it involves failure. You said one of your early prototypes exploded. What did you learn from that?
To wear goggles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So with that prototype, it was just some issues with some test equipment we were using. Wasn't grounded properly. So you know, I don't want to take all the blame for that one. I'll put some of the blame on.
Are you pointing to him, or?
You know, you brought up, Baruz, the importance. I mean, you were kind of joking about the name iSpark, but judges, how important is nomenclature, is the naming of a new product?
Very, very important.
Really
I mean, branding is very important. You know, so I joked about it, but you know, I mean, at some point you need to take a look at a different name. Now, before we go there, how quickly can you charge, and how long does it last? And the fast charging is really important, more important than the small credit card size. So how fast can you charge?
So that's a good point. And currently with our circuit, we're able to get approximately the same speed you would have from plugging from a USB port on your laptop or computer. So granted, this is a slightly lower charge time, but it's a small price to pay for the portability you have without having to buy a replacement charger. It's actually better for your lithium-ion battery to charge at a slightly slower rate. It improves the life of your battery.
I see.
So the name of your product is iSpark. Was there a certain moment where you guys were out and one of you had a phone die where this idea was sparked? Was there?
Sure, there were plenty of situations, even with our friends, where they found themselves in situations where, like, especially our out-of-state friends, when they're out in Atlanta and they run out of phone battery, they're pretty much lost. So, yeah, we wanted to find a way to help that out and to let you have power everywhere you go.
For me, over the summer, I was working at a job, and every time the end of the day would come and my phone battery would be dead, and I can't get directions, I can't make plans with my friends, and I'd be so frustrated. And I come home and I turn it on, and I have a million text messages and emails from my girlfriend asking, where are you? And she's called Grant, and Grant's trying to find me. So that was really when we decided we need to solve this problem, not just for me, but for boyfriends everywhere.
The stakes are clearly high. Those are great questions along with some very impressive answers. These guys have obviously done their homework, which is probably a fairly common activity around here. So now let's go out to the house and meet someone standing by with Bahara. Bahara, whom have you got?
Faith, I was over here and I thought this nice little sign back here about inspiration was for me, but it's actually not. It's for his girlfriend, of course. This is Julianne, Samuel's girlfriend. So apparently you have harassed your boyfriend in the past.
Maybe a little bit. After those long nights at like 8 p.m., it's not even that late, and I can't even get a hold of him.
Because the cell phone died?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So you think that everyone should support this great invention?
I think it's a great invention. I mean, not just for boyfriends, for girlfriends too. I mean, like my cell phone runs out at like 7, 8 p.m. at night after a long day of using it.
And I hate to say this, I think probably parents as well, because my mom harasses me all the time.
I'm sure my mom would love to have one of these for me.
Well, if you agree as well and you think that Team Spark should win the People's Choice Award, make sure to text Spark Charger to 22333 when it is time. Remember, you can also vote online at pollev.com/inventure. Faith, back to you.
Thanks, Bahara. Well, we very briefly met our judges a few minutes ago, but let's learn a little more about these folks who are so smart. They're actually qualified to lead us into the future. First up is a returning judge making his third Inventure Prize appearance. He's the president and CEO of Cryosalis. Please tell us a little bit more about yourself, Mr. David Phelps.
I work at Cryosalis, which is the world's most comprehensive peptide science-based companies, and we develop and manufacture pharmaceuticals, fine chemicals, and medical devices.
And is it true, David Phelps, that you invented in your labs an anatomically perfect swimmer robot you named Michael Phelps?
No.
But you're smart enough. You're smart enough to do that. Sure. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
In addition to our veteran judge, we welcome 2 new judges to our panel. First is a Georgia Tech graduate. She's the Vice President of Research and Development Strategy for Newell Rubbermaid, so she can probably offer some valuable advice to our future inventors. Please welcome Dr. Lisa King.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, I'm thrilled to be here tonight. Really looking forward to seeing some great innovations from the teams tonight, and just really excited to see them as they celebrate their inventions.
Dr. King, wow, that sounds like very historical. Lisa,
yes.
I understand you're what's called triple tech?
I am.
What does that mean?
That means not 1, not 2, but 3 degrees from Georgia Tech.
That's very impressive. So when you finally get the PhD, do they give you something special like a rhinestone lab coat?
They say get out.
Oh. But then we say come back. And finally, all the way from Sunnyvale, California, please welcome the CEO and president of Invincents, Baruz Abdi. Baruz, will you tell us about yourself?
I'm a Georgia Tech graduate. I'm a half-tech. I slipped through the master's program in 1985, married a Georgia girl from University of Georgia, and I know.
It's okay.
I knew I was going to get that reaction. Moved out west, worked for companies like Motorola and Qualcomm, and currently run Invincents, which is in the motion tracking a business. We sell chips that do gyroscopes and accelerometers that go into all the cell phones and gaming devices, and we reside in Silicon Valley.
Well, it is so nice to have you all on the show. Thank you for sharing your judicial skills with us. And now, back to the competition. As you saw with our first team, each of our finalists will be allowed 3 minutes to present their invention. And after that, our esteemed judges will have 5 minutes to ask them the tough questions. And if they don't, I will. or I might, so be nice to the host. Once all 6 teams have completed their presentation, our judges will go to a secret location to drink champagne. No, they will go to a secret location to decide which team will take home that first place prize of $20,000. Or, second place, a still significant check for $10,000. And as I mentioned earlier, winners get a patent to protect their inventions as they bring them to market. And now that you know that, you should know this.
Hello, my name is Erica, and I'm part of Team AnemoCheck. The AnemoCheck started as a senior design project in the biomedical engineering department. Our aim was to create a way to monitor and screen for anemia in a disposable and inexpensive way. There are a lot of problems with current anemia screening. The golden standard is using a hematology analyzer. These machines cost tens of thousands of dollars. They require trained technicians to use, and there are just a lot of problems associated for people that want to screen themselves multiple times a month, on a weekly basis. We found a way with the AnemoCheck to give people the option to test themselves in the comfort of their own home. We've given them empowerment to see how they're doing when they want to be tested. It's very important for them to actually know, and it gives them a little bit more convenience and comfort. I think my project would help millions of people in this country alone. I was very driven to work on this project as a senior at Georgia Tech because I had issues with anemia when I was growing up. It just made it all the better finishing off my career at Georgia Tech to be able to work on this.
Had started thinking about their idea many years ago. So let's not make them wait any longer to present it.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges. It's my absolute honor to be here tonight. My name is Erica, and I want to talk to you about anemia. Now, anemia is the world's most common blood disorder, affecting 1 billion people yearly. In fact, it's so common, 100 of you in the audience tonight are being affected by it right now. And anemia causes fatigue and tiredness, but in severe cases, it can cause brain damage or even death. And we've all been screened for anemia. We've gone to the hospital, had to wait in line, endure a venous blood draw, and had to wait longer for people to process our results. If you're healthy, this happens once or twice a year. But for 15 million Americans, this happens on a monthly or even weekly basis. This is just too inconvenient and costly for people to have to do. I'm proud to say we've invented a solution. The AnemoCheck is an at-home anemia screening test. It's very simple to use. All one does is pricks their finger, collects blood, puts that blood into our chemical tube, mixes, and waits. After 45 seconds, the final color in the tube correlates to a hemoglobin level. The colors range from blue to red, as I have here, indicating different levels of anemia along the way, if any is present. What we've been able to do is take a known chemical reaction and turn it into a whole blood diagnostic test. No one has ever done this before. It's novel and non-obvious. Now I'd like to shift gears. I have with me Reginald and Rob, and they've just tested themselves tonight using AnemoCheck right in front of you on stage. In a short amount of time, I have their results for how they're doing. And I hope you can focus in on that, but they're quite different. As you can see, Reggie's results indicate he's healthy and not anemic. But in contrast, Rob's indicates that he is moderately anemic and should be treated. Rob, could you tell the judges a little about yourself?
I'm Rob Menino, and I have thalassemia. Thalassemia is a genetic blood disorder that causes me to be chronically anemic. And for treatment, I require regularly scheduled blood transfusions. But with this device, I would be able to schedule my blood transfusions for when I really need them, as opposed to guessing when I'm going to be anemic. And recently, I've gotten the chance to actually use this device, and I would buy it.
Thanks, Reggie. Thanks, Rob. To close, I just want to tell you, I've been working on this throughout my undergraduate career, and since graduating in May, I've joined a lab that's jointed at Georgia Tech and Emory in order to pursue this idea. Since May, we've gone from clinical feasibility through verification testing, and we are now IRB approved in a clinical trial on real patients. I'm really proud of that, and I hope you can see the value we have here. Alongside our clinical trial, we want to prototype our design with the Global Center of Medical Innovation. We want to bring new ideas to the table for making this a user-friendly product. To close, keep this in mind, 15 million Americans could benefit from a NemoCheck tomorrow. Please help us turn our device into a product. Thank you.
Things are really heating up. These contestants are willing to give their own blood to win this thing. Your honors, what do you think?
Can you tell me a little bit about the regulatory path?
Yes. As an investigational device exempt in vitro diagnostic, we would definitely pursue with predicate knowledge a 510K, and we do intend on doing that after clinical verification these next few months throughout the summer.
Will you please applaud if you understood all of that? You guys are smart.
And you chose a 510K path over a CLIA path?
Yes.
And why did you do that?
We found good predicate devices that we think the FDA would actually buy. I know it's a long, grueling process to get through to the FDA, but as I said, it's a known chemical reaction, and the way we're applying it to an at-home diagnostic is the novel part. So there's plenty of technology that uses this reaction, the interaction with hemoglobin, but they've never done it like this before.
And do you have stability data on the assay?
Yes, that's a very good question, a little technical, but we've done temperature studies, we've done pH, we've done high bilirubin, high albumin on the whole blood diagnostic. We've tried to follow the model that most glucometers do for interference testing.
And the shelf life of the test, the assay?
As of right now, 3 months.
3 months.
Lisa, you are scribbling away.
I am scribbling away. I guess I'd like to ask what winning the Inventure Prize would really do for this invention.
I was hoping for that question. So any of the Inventure Prizes that we would win of any of the values would help us a great deal in prototyping. Because we aim to be an inexpensive diagnostic to be used at home, these things are extremely inexpensive to print. So with a 3D printer and filling, we could go through different iterations of our design and test them with a fast throughput.
Great.
Farouz, do you have any questions?
So I'm not a doctor, so I'm trying to get an idea on the business side of things. You mentioned 15 million people that can use it right away.
Yes.
And how often will they be doing this test?
Good question. The 15 million I speak of are those that are getting tested monthly or on a weekly basis. However, we could extend our market out to people who are B12 deficient, pregnant women, and even children.
And what is that number?
Total 83 million in the U.S.
83 million. And these 83 million, will they be testing once a week, twice a week, 3 times a day?
Right.
I'm trying to kind of, how many of those are you going to sell every year?
I understand.
Right.
With the 15 million, they would be repeat users, very similar to a diabetic with a glucometer. Once you find a test that works for you, you're married to it. You use it weekly, whenever you want, really. With the other ones, it would be a little bit more sparse, maybe passed out through 1 month, every 2 months.
Erica, thank you so much. You gave our judges a lot of great answers, but there's somebody standing by with Bahara who's going to answer a few more questions for us. Bahara?
Yeah, thanks, Faith. I don't know how you stomached all that blood drawing upstage. I would have probably passed out. But I'm here with Michael, who is actually a co-inventor of a NemoCheck. So, Michael, tell me, how long did Erica work on creating this device?
You know, she's really put her blood, sweat, and tears into this project.
Speaking of blood, how much blood did you actually have to draw to perfect this invention?
Well, the first testing was actually done with pig blood.
Pig blood? Where'd you get pigs from?
Oh, you know, Ackworth, Athens.
Oh, well, very nice, very nice. So you think that a NemoCheck should win tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
You think it's going to make a difference?
Definitely, no doubt.
Okay, well, if you agree, then make sure you vote for Team NemoCheck for the People's Choice Award. Make sure to text ANEMO to 22333 when it is time. Remember, you can also vote online. Faith, back to you.
As you can already see, our finalists tonight are a pretty impressive group. But to give you a little idea of the hurdles they overcame to get here, let's take a little trip down the road to the Inventure Prize.
While there's no clear path to winning the Georgia Tech Inventor Prize,
Our invention will win the Inventor Prize.
I should win this Inventor Prize.
I should win this year's Inventor Prize.
all of this year's contestants had access to plenty of advice on the best way to make it to tonight's stage.
Just think.
And that advice started last November when former Inventor Prize winners visited the Georgia Tech campus.
This really helped kick all that off and get me going in the right direction.
That was enough to jumpstart participants to December's capstone event, where 80 teams unveiled their inventions to the masses in the biggest capstone event ever.
Thank you all for coming tonight to the Capstone Expo.
But this one came with a few surprises,
Okay, I got some news for you.
as organizers gave 10 lucky teams golden tickets, allowing them to skip the quarterfinals and go right to the semis.
That's awesome.
Of course, teams at the quarterfinals had their work cut out for them, trying to stand out among 60 new inventions, including everything from a twist on the classic umbrella
The umbrella itself is inverted.
to a flying car.
Yes, I am inventing a flying car.
And contestants found one line consistently got the judges' attention.
My invention will save many people's lives.
It can save lives.
Drive out could definitely save lives.
From this diverse group of competitors, 26 advanced to the semifinal round, and this coveted category came with an invitation to a Flashpoint workshop to get one more round of advice.
Tonight's work is all about getting your pitches ready.
Before having to face their toughest questions yet.
How are you going to convince people that it actually works?
Show us that you've done your homework.
I mean, if you guys are serious, or if this is just a school competition, I don't know.
And after the last idea was pitched,
we've come here today to show you a product and a solution.
Now is really the right time for this device to come along.
And it will provide our users with a step-by-step solution.
and the last question was asked.
Does it work on raccoons?
6 teams remain standing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Leaving just one question unanswered.
Go for it.
Who will win the 2013 Georgia Tech Inventor Prize?
Who will win this year's Inventor Prize? Luckily, I'm not eligible. I mean, lucky for me, that is, because I'd probably embarrass myself. Need I say more than puppy dog ice cream? The point is, it could be somebody you've already seen, or it could be someone you're yet to see. It could be these guys.
Hi, I'm Zach Zaleski.
I'm Joe Hickey.
And we're Team Infant Sleep Solutions. So one of the big problems facing parents is some children are difficult to put to sleep. And one of the effective means that parents have found is to take them on a car ride.
There's a lot of products to help you put your baby to sleep, but they all have shortcomings. They're bulky, they have limited motion patterns, they're just not effective in putting your baby to sleep all the time. We actually came up with this idea last August, and we worked on it for about 30 hours a week for 4 months straight.
The coolest moment was about 3 months into it when we finally had a product that was able to produce soothing motions and combine all the systems together. Last semester, we had the opportunity to compete in the Capstone Design Expo.
Team Infant Sleep Solutions, come on.
And there we won the People's Choice Award, which confirmed to us that our device is something that people want and will do well in the market.
I think we have a great shot at winning Inventor because we have something that people actually want.
We've had the opportunity to show it to a lot of moms, and they always say, "Where was that when I was having my kids?"
Intrigued. I'm a little creeped out by that baby, but I'm very intrigued, and I'm sure our audience is too. So tell us what you've got. Team iSleep.
Hi, I'm Zach Zaleski. And I'm Joe Hickey. Together, we are Infant Sleep Solutions, and it is our honor to present to you the iSleep. My 10-month-old niece inspired this product because, like many babies, she sometimes has trouble falling asleep. Whether they're too overstimulated or tired, car rides are a proven effective method to help children fall asleep. However, it can be incredibly inconvenient to go for a car ride every night, and some of the alternatives that caregivers can come up with in their desperation can be a little bit dangerous. I had a taste of some of the difficulties that families can face on a daily basis when I was visiting my brother and his family. My niece just didn't want to take a nap. She cried and cried, and nothing would calm her down. So we put her into her car seat and clipped it in the stroller to go for a walk. After a while, she fell asleep and we brought her back inside. But as soon as we put her car seat on the floor, she woke up again crying. I rocked her car seat back and forth and side to side, and she drifted back off to sleep. And that's when it hit me. Why is there nothing that can do this? Combining my experiences with stories from friends and family, I set out to use my Georgia Tech engineering skills to make something that could mimic the motions and vibrations of going for a walk with my niece or taking her for a ride in the car. We wanted to make something that'd be safe, comfortable, and convenient, and could help your child fall asleep without ever having to leave the home. It's with all that in mind that we created the iSleep, which is a soothing motion platform that can recreate that walk in the park or ride in the car and help fussy babies fall asleep and sleeping babies stay asleep.
When parents bring their child's car seat in the house, they set it on the floor, taking up space in a room that's already filled with a crib, stroller, diaper bags, toys, and all the other things it takes to raise a child. Instead of wasting that valuable space, simply take your car seat, clip it in the iSleep, turn it on, and your infant soother is ready to go. Last semester, we had the opportunity to compete in the Capstone Design Expo, where we won the People's Choice Award, which confirmed to us that this is a product that the moms and dads of America want. We've also had the opportunity to share this design with some moms groups, where the reception has been overwhelmingly positive. They always ask, where was this when my kids were younger? Or, can I buy this one and take it home today? Because they believe that this is the device that will change their lives. And it's not just parents that are interested in the iSleep. We've attracted the attention of a major infant products manufacturing company. Winning in venture would move us one step closer to getting this great product into the hands of moms and dads everywhere. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Well, guys, I have a baby and I don't have a car, so sign me up. But judges, what do you think?
So tell us a little bit more about the motion patterns. You said a walk or a drive. Are there two different settings? How does that work?
So we have multiple different motion profiles you can select from. We're still refining those. But what we did was we did some accelerometer logging with car rides and some various competitor products, and then compared that to what we're able to generate with our device.
What price point are you thinking of entering the market at?
So the way it's currently designed, we're targeting around $250. We'd like to further refine that and get it down to about the $180 price range.
Okay. And I know you did a pretty extensive category review while you were working on this project, and you know that's sort of at the upper end of the pricing. So can you tell me a little bit about how you feel that this would merit that in the market?
So our device can do essentially what every other device on the market can. So there's a lot of different devices that swing sideways or glide front to back. Our device is able to mimic the motions of any one of those. So rather than having to predetermine what your child will like before you even know, you can get one device that you know they will like.
How about the age and weight limits?
It's designed to accommodate from birth to 35 pounds, so that's the full weight of the car seat.
You can't put husbands in it?
Will any car seat work?
Yeah, so right now our prototype is designed for a single brand, but we target to get any major brand car seat to work with it.
So is there a universal attachment standard between car seats?
There is no universal latching mechanism, but we don't have to account for the same considerations you would inside a vehicle because we're not going to be in collision events. So we can take advantage of some of the common features of all the car seats and make it work for our device. Yes.
And how would you distribute the product?
What was that?
How would you distribute the product?
We're seeking to further refine our design and then develop a strategic partnership with some of the major industry players and use their distribution channels.
So it's a licensing model, or actually you want to build the product yourself?
The end goal is a licensing scenario.
Okay. So you want to license it to like a manufacturer that's already in this business?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Has your niece used it?
No, she has not. She actually lives in Michigan, so testing is a little difficult.
So do you have a New York City cab driver profile in there, with the jerky motion and the ethnic music playing in the background and all that, So you can customize it for every region,
Curse words?
Yeah, cuss words.
All right, well, we'll have to wrap up these questions because the lovely Bahara is out in the audience ready to talk with a supporter of Team iSleep, if that person is awake. Bahara?
Faith, they are awake. Actually, they are the parents, Zach's parents. This is Rick and Charlene. So, Rick, tell me, was Zach a terrible sleeper?
He didn't sleep through the night for 4 years.
4 years. So he's using this niece as an excuse.
Yeah, and so I drove from Philadelphia to Wilmington, Delaware every night for 4 years.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. What a great father you are. So you would definitely invest in this.
I would pay any amount of money for this.
Charlene, tell me, does he get much sleep now as a Georgia Tech student?
Well, not lately. They've been really trying to refine their product and get it ready for tonight.
So not much has changed?
It's just changed.
Okay, well, if you too think that Team iSleep should win, make sure to basically text iSleep to 22333 when it is time. And of course, you can vote online. Back to you, Faith.
Well, as I said, as a mother, I would love to take one. I would love it if it came in family size so I could sleep too. You've already met 3 of this year's finalists, so this would be a really weird place to stop. I mean, we've got 6, right? So let's meet our next team.
Hi, my name is Chris Taylor. I've invented a line of fully autonomous robotic dog toys. I'm a mechanical engineering major, and I've been designing robotic systems for about 10 years. I've built about 8 different robots, everything from fully autonomous boats to a robot that picked up my high school diploma. Current pet toys on the market are either squeaker-filled or they're a ball that the owners throw, and there just hasn't been a lot of innovation in this industry, and I aim to correct that. The real breakthrough moment I had, I was watching my mom play with her dogs, and she was throwing this toy over and over again, and I thought, hey, I can make a robot to do that. I'm really passionate about robotics because it offers a very unique challenge and it allows me to get my hands dirty, which is something I really like to do. So I'm really proud of the fact that I had this idea and I was able to execute on it, and at least so far there's been an enormous positive reaction to it. I think it has a good shot at winning the Adventure Prize. You know, it's a space that needs innovation, and I'm really passionate about it.
Well, I knew dogs were man's best friend, but I didn't know dogs' best friends might be robots. Please welcome Team Chewbots.
Hello, my name is Chris Taylor, and I'm super excited to be here today. So as you saw in the video, I love building robots. So I want to take all my knowledge and experience that I've acquired over the years and apply them to a real-world problem. So I made this. Could we roll that video, please? I want to create a line of robotic dog toys that are more engaging and interactive than any other dog toy on the market. Additionally, since they're fully autonomous, they'll make owning a dog even easier. Dog toys haven't changed over the years, and I think our dogs deserve a little more imagination and a little more creativity. I think Riley and Lily would agree with me. Now, I know what you're thinking. Robots for dogs? Is this guy nuts? Well, the pet industry is huge. It does over $50 billion a year in business, and the average dog owner spends almost $50 a year on dog toys alone. There are 46 million US households that have a dog, and 40% of those have more than one dog. Pet ownership is at an all-time high. Most dog toys currently on the market are either a squeaker-filled plush toy, a rope toy the dog pulls on, or a ball the owner has to throw. My solution is Chewbots. Now, not every dog likes the same thing, so I've created 3 different prototypes. First up, we have the Snowman. This thing is great for dogs that love to chew. It's got a vibration motor in it, and it moves around. It'll take anything your dog can throw at it. Next up, we have the Duck. This is a wheeled vehicle that changes direction, and dogs really love to chase this thing. And finally, last but not least, we have the Pig. This is for dogs that are a little more subdued or timid, but it still produces a very small vibration motion, and they really like to hold it in their mouth. I use a combination of motion and sounds to make my toys extremely exciting and interactive for dogs. And while there is some prior art in this space, my way of achieving this is unique and patentable. I've been testing these 3 dog toys over at Piedmont Dog Park, and dogs love them. I've even set up a website where to start collecting email addresses of interested owners. And anyone who goes to www.chewbots.co before March 31st will get early access to our pre-orders when they go on sale. If I win an adventure, I'm going to take my winnings and work with a design manufacturing firm. I want to produce a prototype that is ready for manufacturing. I want to get ChewBots into the mouths of dogs as soon as possible. With your help, we can make happy pets and happy owners. Thank you.
There are thousands of dogs at home ready to text in their vote with their paws. I've got a few questions for the dogs and maybe one for one of the robots, but I will let our judges start with some questions.
So this is really fun. How many dogs have tested these products for you?
Over 30, and of them, I would say 90% of them have liked at least one of them.
Okay. And what kind of price points are you thinking about at retail?
It's a great question. I want to be competitive with current dog toys, which on average sell for $15 to $25.
Okay. And is your model ultimately to be direct to consumer? Are you looking to partner with key retailers? What sort of commercialization?
I would like to manufacture them myself because I have a bunch more ideas on how I can make dog toys more interactive. Additionally, I'm going to do direct to sales and hopefully the goal eventually is to get into big box stores.
I do want to congratulate you on your guerrilla marketing there, giving your website and your presentation. That was pretty smart.
Feroz, you have a dog.
Yeah, I've got a Sheltie that goes, through these chew toys in about 30 seconds, and before they turn into shreds and all over the house. So, how adorable is this? I mean,
Durable or adorable?
both. How adorable is it? And then, how durable is it?
So it's another great question. I'm trying to, these are still working prototypes, obviously. These were just designed to test if dogs would be interested. So my next iteration of prototypes, I'm going to make them even more durable. To give you an example, this is what I've been working on for the snowman. As you can see, all the electronics and moving parts are completely enclosed within this, so the dog can't possibly hurt themselves.
I see. Great.
Have you thought about batteries and how to protect the dogs from batteries?
They're all enclosed inside of here, and I want them to be changeable so that when the dog wears it out, the owner can change the batteries.
David?
So you said you want to manufacture these, and you want to be in the $15 to $25 price point. Do you know what the cost is going to be?
To make all of these prototypes cost me less than $30.
And you probably didn't pay yourself much.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
So this there's no remote control. This duck rolls around on his own, quacks around on his own?
So eventually I'm trying to get there. It's not quite there yet, but in the next couple of weeks I plan on doing that.
So are these really dog toys for lazy dog owners?
It could be.
So once you enter the market with this, how sustainable do you think this is in terms of the copycats or the copy toys coming into the market is without having a brand?
I think at least I'll have an early advantage because a lot of dog toy companies, their core abilities don't include electronics and things that move. So I'm going to leverage that as best of my ability.
Chris, will you promise us all that if you win, you will create a robot that picks up after your dog?
I will try.
Okay, if anybody can do it, Georgia Tech can do it. Unfortunately, no dogs were available for interviews, but I do believe Bahara found someone even better to talk with. He must be Chris's dad because he looks just like him. Bahara?
Yes, right. Yes, right. Yes, Faith, that's right. I'm actually here with Bob, Chris's dad. So I wanted to ask you, how proud are you of your son tonight?
Well, what father wouldn't be proud of his son after paying 4, 5, 6 years of tuition to have him make dog toys?
That's true. That's true. Very well said. So, my last question to you is this. If Chris wins, what percentage of the royalties are going to go to your family dog?
I think they'll get a few treats and probably some ChewBots.
And you know what? You're probably going to get some of that tuition money back.
Maybe.
Well, if you think that ChewBots should win the People's Choice Award, make sure to text ChewBots to 22333 when it is time. And of course, you can always vote online. Faith, back to you.
For every one of these finalists, there are more there are more than 20 teams who unfortunately didn't get this far. Maybe it was because their ideas weren't quite ready, or maybe the world wasn't quite ready for their ideas. We'll let you decide in a little piece we call Maybe Next Year.
We're Team Dinosaur with a Katana.
We're Team Vertical Horizons, and collectively we are known as the Rat Pack.
We are Team Robodroid.
Team Protera.
Team Uvinia.
The Racketeers. My team is just me. What I invented is a reusable system for sending small satellites into orbit.
My approach was to go right underneath the armpits.
Our invention is a modification on an amplification device for DNA that the CDC uses to detect malaria.
That's kind of ridiculous.
What I've invented is called the Easy Razor.
When people write, they make mistakes.
Digitally controlled analog device that distorts guitar signals.
And at Georgia Tech, we make a lot of mistakes.
We've invented Freedom snowboard binders.
Came up with the idea of a tennis training aid.
So what separates us from other schools is that we try to correct them.
We're Team RoboBear. Can you make it hug?
Thanks.
A cute way to connect people together.
He has a magnet on his tongue, and as he moves his tongue, he can control the robotic arm.
Hey, Roger Federer, you should get behind this product because it's going to be huge.
Wow. Even the inventions that didn't make it to the finals are impressive. Satellite launchers? Georgia Tech has to do this show because no other school could create inventions of this caliber. I mean, don't get me wrong. All due respect to UGA, right? I mean, where would we be if they hadn't invented second place? Our next team will have our audience on pins and needles, or at least pins. And that was probably the worst pun ever, but you'll understand it when you watch this.
Hi, I'm Steven Wosio, part of Team BioPin. Think about how much you use pins to protect your vital information. As smartphones become more prevalent, especially for things like mobile banking, it's more important than ever that pins are secure. Scott and I realized that there was a problem with the security of pins based on how much people use them to protect the most important information that they have. We realized that especially on touchscreen phones, you can collect other information like timing and pressure to better secure a PIN number system. While trying to come up with a solution to this problem, we went through countless algorithms and spent plenty of hours on the computer. The coolest part about BioPin has been the look on people's faces when they see me enter in my PIN on my phone and then try to do it and can't get in. I think Scott and I have a great shot at winning Inventure because our invention is something that can be used by people on a daily basis to protect vital information.
All right, keeping your information secure for at least the next 3 minutes, please welcome Team BioPin.
So everybody knows that PIN stands for Personal Identification Number. But let's think about that for a second. Personal identification. There are only 4 digits in a PIN, which for you math majors out there means that you can only have 10,000 possible PINs. Now I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that there are more than 10,000 people out there using PINs. That math just doesn't add up. The good news is there are more than 10,000 unique ways to enter a PIN when you know what you're looking for. And that's exactly what BioPin does. Now, before I go on, I'd like to stress the importance of keeping your PIN secret. It is very important that no matter what, you keep your PIN secret. Okay, clearly I'm not very good at that. But since it's out in the open, let's do a case study. I'm not only going to give the judges my PIN, but I'm also going to give them my phone and have them try to get in. Usually that would be a trivial task, but with BioPin software, I'm confident that it'll be a little bit harder for them. While they try to do that, I'll tell you a little bit about how BioPin works. BioPin uses the sensors that are already built into your phone, things that measure pressure, touch location, and timing, to build a profile for how you enter your PIN. That then judges future attempts to get in with the PIN on that profile. If you have multiple ways of entering a PIN, it's okay because you can have multiple profiles and still be secure. If your way of entering it changes over time, then that's okay because it'll change with you. As you can see, even though the judges all knew my PIN, they were not able to get in.
In 2011, Atlanta had the highest number of reported lost and stolen cell phones of any city in the United States, with over $50 million worth. Now, Symantec did a study on these kinds of devices and found that 96% of people who obtain an unknown phone try to access personal information on it. Things like your emails, your texts, your work schedule, and your home address. And almost half of them would go on to try to access your corporate email accounts. If that information got leaked to the public or given to a competitor, it could cost a fortune in damages for your company and your career. And that same percentage would try to access your online banking applications and mobile payment services. It may not be your first thought, but all the information on your phone can open a lot of doors to credit card fraud and identity theft. Luckily, BioPin can help. You see, BioPin is specifically designed for situations where the intruder both knows your PIN and has access to your phone. If your phone was stolen, this could occur through a tactic that's been nicknamed shoulder surfing, where the intruder just looks over your shoulder as you enter your PIN. Even in this worst-case situation, your data is still protected. And what about your everyday privacy? Well, imagine not having to worry about your friends messing with your Facebook, your kids buying games on your iPhone, or a coworker snooping on your personal life, just because they watched you enter your PIN. With the increasing power and utility of smartphones on the market today, the weakness of PINs is a problem, and BioPin is the simple and effective solution to that problem. Thank you.
You guys obviously have a lot of answers, but luckily our judges have a lot of questions, so I'll hand it to you.
We tried it, we couldn't get in. My question is, can you get in? I didn't see you get in, so I just want to make sure. Good work. Now, what technologies are you using to augment this? I mean, is it more like a contextual awareness kind of thing that you use, like gyroscopes and sensors and GPS?
So it's using sensors that are already built into the phone. It can approximate pressure. It looks at timing and touch location to figure out how you usually enter it in. And then it uses statistics to determine if the attempt is far enough from that to deny access or if it's close enough to allow access.
But are those fairly accurate? I mean, how about false positives, false negatives?
Yeah, we've started doing testing, and we haven't tested enough people to get concrete percentages, but it seems like it is extremely unique per user and accurate.
Do you have to build this into the OS, or is it an app?
It has to be built into the OS.
So you have to, for example, that's an Apple, of course, you have to go and work with them to build it into the OS structure then, right? So license it to them. Mm-hmm. Okay.
David, do you have any questions?
So you would have to have a deal with a phone maker, is that kind of what you said?
Phone makers are one of our targets. Also, certain apps, like there are security-specific apps and mobile banking apps that use PINs, so any of those would be.
Basically, you can imagine anywhere that you normally use a PIN on your smartphone, you could replace it with BioPin for added security.
And how does this contrast with biometric? I mean, most of the phones today have cameras. Would this be more accurate than facial recognition or some other kind of a biometric?
So some of the major ones that we've heard of, and you can tell us of other ones, include facial recognition. Just looks at your face, and that can be broken with a Facebook picture. Fingerprint scanners are additional hardware that you can't just use a phone as they're built right now. And then there's also voice recognition, but you have to say it out loud and not, or, there are times that you want to enter your PIN without saying something out loud. So ours is better because it keeps the convenience of a normal PIN, but just adds security on top of it.
Have you thought at all about how it might work with shared devices, maybe one touch screen or one phone that multiple people in the family use?
Right, so the algorithm is already designed to accept multiple profiles, even for the same PIN. So even if there was two users who entered it entirely differently, they'd both be able to get in. Their both profiles would merge with them as they worked with it more and more.
Okay. Have you thought about teaming up with Team Anemocheck and just doing like a drop of blood on the screen? It's very bio, right?
We're afraid of blood.
So when I do my PIN, I always do I do it with my right hand thumb. If I did my PIN with my left-hand pointer finger, would it deny me?
Probably, unless you had it set to accept that one as well.
Any other questions?
What kind of intellectual property do you have?
Right now, a provisional patent.
So it's protectable? The algorithm is protectable?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, I believe Bahara is standing securely by with someone who's got a little more information on Team BioPin. Bahara?
That's right, Faith. I actually am here with Alexis, which is Stephen's girlfriend. You see, as you can see, they're quite prepared. So tell me, Alexis, how many times have you tried to break into Stephen's phone?
All day, every day, you know? You can never be too careful.
I know, especially with these men nowadays. I totally get it. So we should really invest in something like this.
Definitely.
Well, or maybe not.
I have a physical weapon now, too. Can just swat them away.
Oh, very good, very good. So one last question. What is he going to give you if he wins tonight?
He promised me a nice dinner at McDonald's. And he said I could get an Oreo McFlurry as well.
Girl, you need to upgrade a little bit. This guy's going to make $20,000 at McDonald's? For God's sakes. I'll teach you how to do this.
All right.
On that note, can I have this as well?
This is mine.
Okay. Well, couldn't get the guy, can't get the 20,000. All right. If you think that Team BioPin should win the People's Choice Award, then make sure to text BioPin to 22333 when it's time. And of course, you can vote online. Faith, lots of girlfriends, lots of competition. This is so much fun.
McDonald's? If he wins, he has to take you to the varsity at least, right? All right, 5 teams down, but don't pick your winner yet because you haven't seen this guy.
Hi, I'm Bashir and I'm Team Hugh and I've reinvented the toaster. I'm a 4th-year industrial design student. One of the core principles of industrial design is solving problems. And one of the problems I encountered was that people just simply don't trust their toasters. Toasters have been around for over a century and yet people still burn their toast regularly. How do you communicate with the toaster? Right now you have like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers that you have to pick from. And really, what does that even mean? Does 4 mean that it's not gonna get burnt this time? It isn't like steak where there's medium rare, medium well, well done. All you have is the color to judge from. I think I found a way to fix it. What really is important, especially when using a product, is the interfacing between the people and the actual product itself. You can have the best technology in the world, but if people can't use it or they don't understand it, it doesn't do them any good. I think I've got a pretty good chance at winning the Inventor Prize because I think this is something that everyone deals with every single day, and especially in the morning, when they're really not up to dealing with huge problems.
Until I've had my coffee, don't ask me to operate any kind of equipment. But this guy might have the fix. I give you Team Hugh.
Hi, I'm Bashir, and I like toast. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of you like toast too. Over 90% of American homes own a toaster. Yet, for as long as toasters have been around, there's been pretty much no innovation on them since the dawn of their innovation. And really, if you look at the problem, they're still impossible to use because it's a complete gamble what you get out of them. Now, you'd think it'd be just as easy as setting the dial to 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, but think again. Backstage, I set each of these toasters to 5, and let's see what we got out of them. Now, the first, this is 5. It's nearly burnt, a dark walnut color. Wait, no, this is 5. It's a medium tannish color, about halfway done. Or, wait, no, this is 5. It's uncooked, basically raw. Now, I've set all of these to 5, but do these look like the same number to you? It's just sort of a shame, and it's really unpredictable. And the last thing you want to do in the morning is to babysit your toaster, just trying to make sure it doesn't burn a slice of bread, let alone burn your house down. Now, this is what I would wish I could have every morning. It's a beautiful almond color, and it's got a nice soft crunch to it. So what if you had a toaster that you could trust? Because it actually could see like the way you and I do, and you could actually get this out of it. That's what the Hue toaster does. Hue uses color sensors to smartly and perfectly toast your bread to that shade of brown every single morning. And it doesn't matter if it's frozen, thick, thin, white, wheat, or even a bagel. Hue is smart enough to adapt to that without any extra knobs or settings to fiddle with. And because it can see, it knows when your bread is about to thaw, it knows when you've put in a dark piece of pumpernickel bread, and in future iterations, it could even adapt to itself and know how to make sure that not just that your toast is completed, but also that it's toasted evenly. And over the past few months, I've scoured the market trying to find anything that comes close to this. And I'm as baffled as the next guy as to why I haven't been able to find anything. These color sensors have been around for decades, and they're dirt cheap, just a few cents each. And with all of this extra technology added, you could still sell this toaster at the same price point as all the competitors. Every toaster on the market today uses those simple preset timers, and they're all crap. Now, I put my little project on the internet a few months ago, and the reaction's been insane. What started off as a shared link between a few of my closest friends has turned into a Daily Mail article, an expose on the BBC, an article on Business Week. And if you fly KLM this month, you can actually check out the In-Flight magazine. And so I've received dozens of emails from people asking where they can buy this, including from one of the creators of the internet himself. And I'd love to be able to tell them it's coming soon. So with your help, I can patent and license this technology and work with kitchen appliance manufacturers to get this into the homes of millions. And I think together, we've got a really good shot at making mornings just a little bit better. Thank you.
So, you're telling us that Al Gore wants in on this toaster? This is big.
One of his very good friends, yes.
Wow, all right. I love how emotional you are about toast. I really do. All right, well, listen, other than the obvious question, which is, does your invention come with a side of bacon? I will hand this off to see what else our judges want to ask.
Can you describe the sensor scheme that you're using?
It's a simple photosensor, and basically it changes the resistance as it detects different amounts of light. And so if you combine 3 of these with different filters on them, like with a red, green, and blue filter, then you can get the full color spectrum and put it into a computer.
So you're looking at visible light only?
Yes, it's through visible light.
And you're just looking at the surface of the toast, you're not looking deep?
Yes, because ideally that's sort of how we as people judge the toast itself.
We're so superficial.
So, what about the pumpernickel?
Well, so the color sensors don't just appear halfway in. They're there the entire time. So when you put in the piece of bread, it already knows that right off the bat that it's a darker piece of bread. And so when you dial in the new color on the wheel on the front, then it sort of does it by difference.
So is it like an adaptive engine in there that figures out that it needs to go darker by this amount, or how do you do the color correlation?
The only real intelligence you need is just to give the users an idea of how long it's going to toast, and so whether or not it's going to burn it. But the actual toasting process itself is a feedback loop. So when it sees that exact color, it pops up. There's no guessing.
Lisa?
So I love your passion for toast. I do have a pumpernickel-esque question about raisin bread, so areas that would have light and dark in them. And then I kind of wanted to ask you, have you thought about other color sensing and matching applications for your invention?
So with something like raisin bread, this toaster, or the way I've designed it, is it's going to use a full-blown array of these sensors, and so it could average them out. And so it would sort of know whether or not it's a certain dark spot just here, or if it's different colors around, and so it can average that and adapt to it. But also on what was the second half of your question?
Color sensing and matching, other applications.
Sure, like another application you can use is maybe in an oven to see if, whether or not your turkey's done.
I have a question for the audience, just to see the sort of relevance of this invention. How many people make toast 4 times a week? Clap. Okay. This isn't. You have toast-loving people here. I didn't know that people ate toast that often.
Well, I think what's a better question is how many people have burnt a piece of toast?
Oh, well. Very good. Any other questions?
No.
Were you making breakfast one morning when you came up with this idea?
Not really, no. It's clearly been stuck in my mind for years.
Clearly. All right, well done. You guys are kind. Thank you. Before we go out to Bahara, I want to send our judges backstage to the anechoic chamber we've built especially for them, which is also known as the green room. Godspeed. May the force be with you. This will give them every possible second for their very challenging deliberations. So, judges, our finalist fate is in your hands. And now we'll go out to the audience to see if Bahara has found someone who can offer a toast to Team Hugh.
Faith, I really don't know what's going on. I think there's a lot of love in the air tonight because I'm here with Bashir's girlfriend, and apparently Georgia Tech is not working their students hard enough because they have plenty of time to date. And even more, the audience, and I mean especially Team Hugh here, is quite well prepared. You can see this Eat More Toast sign. So how much toast did you actually have to eat?
Yeah, so I've eaten so much toast that I'm all burnt out.
Very nice, very nice. And so I'm going to ask the same question that I asked to Alexis over there, the girlfriend from Team Biopin. What has Bashir promised you if he wins the $20,000 tonight?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll finally get to go out to eat for breakfast.
Breakfast? Why breakfast?
Breakfast, brunch, you can eat toast anytime.
Oh, so you're still going to go out and try to eat some toast and probably tell them how to make their toast, right?
Maybe we'll critique it. I don't know if we're going to tell them exactly how to make it.
Well, that's good. If you think also as well here that Team Hugh host should win the People's Choice Award, then make sure to text Hugh Toast to 22333 when it is time. And of course, you can remember you can also vote online. So, with that said, guess what, audience and people at home? The polls are now open. Here is a quick recap of the unique keywords that you need to remember for your voting. If you think that carrying a cell phone charger in your pocket is cool, then vote for Team Spark by using the keyword Spark Charger. If you think that iSleep is the future for putting your children to bed, then text iSleep to 22333. If you need to entertain your dog and you're too busy to do it, then text ChewBots to 22333. If you think Team Anemo needs to win and the Anemo check should win, then make sure to text Anemo to 22333. If Biopin is your favorite, then text Biopin to that same number. Want good toast? Then Team Hugh is your choice, and you should text Hugh Toast to that number 22333. Remember, you can also vote online at pollev.com/adventure. Voting is now open. You can vote now and vote fast, and you can vote once. Back to you, Faith.
I love it. The whole audience has its head down into their phones, working on their biopins. Whether they win the top prize or not, all of our finalists are success stories with bright futures ahead. What are those futures, you ask? Good question. You're pretty smart. That's why we checked in with a few former Adventure Prize contestants to find out where are they now.
I graduated from Georgia Tech in spring 2011 with a degree in computer science.
I went to Georgia Tech in 2006 through 2010. In that time period, I entered Adventure Prize 3 times.
And I thought I was going to study biomedical engineering. I graduated with a degree in computer science in the spring of 2012.
My invention was a hair care software that allowed women to predict how certain products will react on your hair.
In 2009, I won the grand prize. In 2010, I was a semifinalist, and in 2011, I was a finalist.
I made it to the finals. I was so excited, but then a man named Roger Pincombe took the cake.
For all of 2012, I entered 19 separate software development competitions. I won first place in 9 of them, and now I'm back in Atlanta launching Augur, which is a machine learning startup.
I teamed up with 3 phenomenal women who are also passionate about hair care and technology, and together we formed a company, Texturize. Texturize's mission is to transform the hair industry through science and technology.
What I'm doing now is getting ready to establish an innovation center in Lusaka, Zambia. I was recently awarded a Rhodes Scholarship, and I was also awarded a Fulbright Fellowship. And through Adventure Prize, I had the opportunity to present in Hong Kong representing the United States in a student innovation competition. Yeah, I stay pretty busy.
Adventure Prize really taught me to be fearless.
Adventure Prize has just been a great opportunity. I mean, it's really taught me kind of that I can do things and that people care.
That's all about following your dreams and making sure that every step you take, you do so with purpose.
As a Rhodes Scholar, now working on a Fulbright Fellowship, the most valuable thing Adventure Prize gave me was confidence to make my ideas a reality.
And now that we've looked at what lies ahead for our finalists, we're going to look in the other direction and meet some future Adventure Prize contestants. Bahara, with whom are you speaking?
Hi, Faith. I'm here with the two amazing teachers, Amanda Baskett, a teacher at Rockdale Magnet School, and Dean Landers, a teacher at Peachtree Ridge High, who are both tech graduates. Go Jackets, I am too. They are spearheading the Adventure Challenge at the Georgia high schools. So I'm going to ask them a few questions. Tell me, Amanda, what is this all about?
Well, we were really inspired by how Adventure has brought innovation to Georgia Tech's campus. It's actually new from when Dean and I graduated. So we were so inspired by that, we wanted to bring it into our classrooms. So we've challenged our students to create inventions, pitch them, think about how they could bring them to market. We even had Georgia Tech professors come out to our schools and ask them tough questions, just like the judges have today.
No way, that's amazing. So you actually do Adventure at your high schools?
Yes, we're piloting this year. It's the Adventure Challenge at Georgia high schools, and we're hoping to grow the program in the future.
What a fantastic idea. Dean, tell me, what are the inventions like?
Oh, they've been amazing. Some of my favorites, one student made a device that automatically resets your router when the internet goes out. I mean, that's usually what's wrong anyway. You just have to press the button, but his little device does it automatically. One of Amanda's students developed a way to use bacteria to ID criminals. I don't really understand it, but it sounds really cool.
Amazing, amazing. So tell me, what do they win?
You know, a good grade.
That's a great incentive, for sure. Is this program adoptable? Like, could other high schools kind of use what you guys have developed?
We're really hoping, well, this summer we actually started by writing curriculum that teachers could go ahead and implement into their classrooms. And we're hoping to expand this program. Right now, across the nation, they're developing next generation science standards. And this is actually a program where teachers can easily bring in engineering to their classrooms.
Amazing. Dean, tell me, why do you think this is so important?
I could talk about this forever because so many students learn as if they're sponges, where knowledge is just being poured into them. And what we're doing is we're making them merge their passions with the application of what they learn in the classroom so that they're using discovery and innovation to learn, and it sticks and it makes them people that change the world.
And it's so important, and I have to thank both of you again, and also a special thanks to the Betty and Davis Fitzgerald Foundation for the financial support in developing this partnership between Georgia Tech and the teachers. Thanks to the both of you and to all the teachers out there who make a difference in the lives of our future generation. I'm so inspired, Faith, really amazing. Back to you.
It is inspiring. Thank you, Bahara. And a special thanks to Amanda and Dean and school teachers everywhere who help prepare kids for schools like Georgia Tech and incredible nights like this. Now, hopefully you've cast your vote for tonight's People's Choice Award. If not, you have moments left to do that while our judges continue deliberating to see which team will take home the big money, $20,000, as well as the still pretty big money, $10,000. In fact, let's peek in on the judges right now and see how those deliberations are going. Oh dear, it doesn't look like things are going well at all. I'm not really sure this is the best way to debate the winner, and I didn't know Lisa was so aggressive. Yeah, hopefully we can work this out soon. You know, I'm not certain those were our actual judges. We might be having some technical difficulties, so while we straighten that out, I will remind you to cast your vote for People's Choice Award. You've got seconds left while Bahara checks in with the contestants. Bahara?
Faith, I don't know how the judges are actually going to choose tonight. I don't know how the audience is going to choose tonight. This is so difficult. I'm actually here backstage. The tension is high amongst the contestants. I feel a little bit kind of claustrophobic, actually. But anyway, I'm talking to Erica from Team AnemoCheck. So tell me, Erica, how was it out there?
It was great. It was really liberating. I had so much fun.
So was it more daunting than you thought it would be, or less daunting?
I think it was less daunting. The waiting was probably the worst part.
Yeah. And that drawing of the blood, oh my God, it killed me. And so Bashir, tell me, I talked to your girlfriend earlier. Apparently you guys ate a lot of bread.
I love bread. I can tear through an entire loaf in a day. It's pretty great.
Amazing. So did you gain a lot of weight during the process?
No, I tried to run.
Oh, okay. So why do you think you should win tonight?
I think everyone's burnt a piece of toast before, and it's one of the worst parts of the morning.
Well, I agree too, because I love bread. So Erica, why do you think you should win?
I think we should win because we put a lot of effort in. We're far along. We're testing on real people, and we can really make a difference.
And I don't know what's going on behind my head, but is there something else you guys want to say?
Yeah. You better pick our test.
Vote for BioPin.
Or your toast.
Well, either way, test, pin, toast, blood, it's all good. And I think on that note, we're going to officially close the voting for the People's Choice Award. And you guys will be happy pretty soon. So with that said, Faith, I'm going to hand it back to you because I'm getting clobbered. Thank you.
Thank you, Bahara. This is very exciting. The judges have just gotten settled back into their seats, and they look like they know something. So other than the footage we saw, which may or may not have actually been you, how hard was tonight's decision?
Oh, so close.
Really?
Very close.
Did you have to arm wrestle over it? Like, were you guys at odds?
Yes.
We're stressed.
All right, well, very well. As long as you've completed your work for the evening, I'll invite all of the teams back on stage. Y'all, come on out here. Oh, that's a big prize. Two very special guests from Rockdale Magnet School and Peachtree Ridge High School who've come out here to help with tonight's People's Choice Award. So please welcome Alexis Nesbitt and Lavika Gupta. A few minutes ago, Bahara introduced us to Amanda Baskett and Dean Landers, teachers working with students on Inventure Prize-like competitions, and Alexis and Lavika are two standouts in their programs. Thank you for being here, both of you.
Thank you.
So what's the most inspiring thing you've seen or heard tonight?
Well, I think the most inspiring for me just has been the creativity and passion these young adults have thrown into their projects, and I would love to follow suit and maybe one day find myself on the stage.
I mean, I know I have a partner myself, and we've been through these problems trying to fix what difficulties with our prototypes. So seeing the inspiration, them continuing and continuously fixing, it makes us want to work harder.
Great. Well, your enthusiasm is infectious. I hope you guys end up at Georgia Tech. All right. We appreciate your being here and bringing this very disco envelope out for the winner of the People's Choice Award. Are you ready? This is so exciting. All right. And the winner of the 2013 Georgia Tech Inventure Prize People's Choice Award, along with a check for $5,000, is not Burt Reynolds. It is BioPin. There you go, you guys. Congratulations. Don't leave me hanging. Congrats. The check's not in here, but I'm sure we're good for it. Congratulations on winning this very nice award. So how are you feeling right now?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. This is awesome.
How are you feeling? Good, excellent. How heavy is this thing?
Very light. Surprisingly.
Now, are you guys going to timeshare this?
I'll have to figure that out. Yes, yeah, probably. It's probably the same. Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations. We're almost to the moment we've all been waiting for. And I say almost because before we get there, I'd like our judges to tell us who their top two teams were. Judges, what say you?
The top two teams, in no particular order, were the Mino Czech and Chubot.
Well, congratulations, Chubot and Nemocheck. Why don't you join me right here? Thank you again to all of our finalists. How about a big round of applause for all of them and everyone who entered this year's Invention Prize competition. Okay, so I think this is the part where you guys go backstage for the swimsuit competition, get a quick spray tan, and then, yeah. So judges, please tell us what separated these two teams from the rest of the field?
They both had excellent presentations, answered the questions well, had good designs.
Yeah, very well prepared. Yeah.
Well, congratulations again to both of you. You're each guaranteed a tidy sum of money, so that's the good news. Now, of course, we've still got to tend to one pesky little piece of business, which is announcing the winner. And for that, I'm going to get a little help. Please welcome to the stage Google's Senior Analytical Lead for the retail industry and Chairman of Google Atlanta's Community Affairs Board, Dr. Sam Franklin. Hello, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Franklin, thank you for joining us, and thanks for Google's support of this wonderful competition. Do you have the envelope?
I do.
Have you
it right
peeked
here.
in it?
I did.
Oh, you know. All right. Well, thank goodness. Because if you didn't have this envelope, I would have had to dance till the end of the show. Nobody wants to see that. So, very well. Please read the results.
And the winner is Chubots. Congratulations, great job.
Congratulations, Team Chubot, the winner of the 2013 Georgia Tech Inventure Prize. Now, Chris, thinking back on this whole project, this whole experience, when you started, did you really think winning the whole thing was possible?
Absolutely not. I just, started working on it and just hoped for the best, submitted, and I'm really excited to be here.
Well, you've made hundreds, thousands of dogs happy. Your father should be crying, I hope. Congratulations once again on a well-deserved honor.
Thank you.
And before we go, let's get all of our teams back out here for one last dose of loving. Give it up for them. And thanks to my co-conspirator, Dr. Bahara Azizi, all the folks at Georgia Tech and GPB. I'm Faith Saley. I had a blast. It was an honor. And remember, necessity may be the mother of invention, but Georgia Tech is your daddy. Good night.
Made possible in part by Google, the ACC Interinstitutional Academic Collaborative, the Center of Innovation for Manufacturing, the Betty and Davis Fitzgerald Foundation, the Georgia Tech Research Corporation, the National Collegiate Inventors and Innovators Alliance, and the Georgia Institute of Technology.